Our learning target today is I can use order of operations to evaluate an expression. By order of operations, you may know as PEMDAS, where we would have to do parentheses, then exponents, then multiplication or division, then addition or subtraction. So to go over order of operations more specifically, the P stands for parentheses or any grouping symbols. So here I see 3 plus 1 are in parentheses. Here I see 4 minus 5 are in parentheses, and this whole expression is in brackets, which is another form of grouping symbols like parentheses. E stands for exponents, and by exponents I mean this little tiny number in the right-hand corner. Then we have M and D. M and D stand for multiplication or division. Multiplication does not always come before division. They're going to be performed whichever comes first from left to right. So here are some examples of multiplication and division. Then we have addition and subtraction. Addition does not always become before subtraction. It's whichever comes first from left to right. All right. So in this slide, it just says, what should you do first? It doesn't say what's the answer. It just says, what should you do first? So I have negative 14 divided by 7 plus 8 times negative 2. Now, this is not what they mean when they say parentheses. When they say parentheses, they mean things that are grouped together inside of parentheses. And here, there's nothing grouped inside of the parentheses besides the singular negative 2. So I'm not doing parentheses first. There aren't any exponents. So I'm either doing multiplication or division first. Should I do this division or should I do this multiplication? The answer is you should do the division first, because multiplication doesn't always come before division. It's whichever of the two comes first when you read the expression from left to right. This next expression says negative 4 minus 8 times negative 2. So do you think I should do the subtraction first or should I do this multiplication first? The answer is you're going to do the multiplication first. And this last expression says 10 plus parentheses 5 plus 3 divided by negative 2. This is what they mean when they say parentheses. So since there's something grouped inside parentheses, that is what I would have to perform first. Okay, what should you do first? Is there anything grouped inside of the parentheses? No. They use parentheses here, but they're just using parentheses with this exponent. So the first thing we would actually do in this expression is exponents first. Negative 2 minus parentheses 3 minus 4. What would I do first here? I would have to do what's inside of parentheses first. And lastly, 2 plus 8 divided by negative 4 times 6. What would I do first here? Well, there's no parentheses, there's no exponents, so it comes down to multiplication or division. Should I do the division first or should I do the multiplication first? I should do the division first because it comes first from left to right. Follow order of operations and rewrite after each step. So we really need to rewrite after each step. We're going to rewrite the entire expression that's left over every single time we solve part of it. So first, is there anything grouped inside of parentheses that we need to look at? No. Are there any exponents? No. Is there multiplication or division? Yes. There's division right here, but there's multiplication right here. Which should we do first? We should do the division first because it comes first from left to right. So please underline the division. What is negative 14 divided by 7? Well, those signs don't match, so that's negative 2. And then I rewrite everything else on that next line. Yes, you need to rewrite it. It is not optional. You need to do that step. Next, I have addition and I have multiplication. Which should I do first? I should do multiplication first because multiplication comes before addition or subtraction. So I'm going to underline the multiplication step. Now, 8 times -2 is -16. So this is -2 minus 16. Because this whole thing right here just becomes -16, which then becomes -16. If I were to make a scoreboard, both of these numbers would be under the negatives. So my answer is negatives win by 18 or -18. Next one, -4 minus 8 times -2. Now, is there anything grouped inside of parentheses we need to work on first? No. Are there any exponents? No. Is there any multiplication or division? Yes. In this case, I'm going to underline not just 8 times -2, but the -8 times the -2, because this minus sign is kind of like making this a -8. Now, these signs match. So I'm going to say that's 16, but positive 16. Now bring down your -4. So now we have -4 plus 16. If I were to make a scoreboard, positives would win by 12. Okay, this next one. Is there anything to do in parentheses first? Yes. So I'm going to underline parentheses first, and 5 plus 3 is 8. And then I'm going to rewrite everything else. And yes, you need to do this. This is not optional. You have to rewrite everything every step. So now it should say 10 plus 8 divided by -2. All right, are there any exponents? No. Is there any multiplication or division? Yes, there's division. So I would do 8 divided by -2. Those signs do not match. So that's going to be -4, and I have 10 plus -4. But now I have double signs. These double signs don't match, so this is really 10 minus 4, which we know is 6. This next problem, a lot of students make a mistake where they try to combine double signs. But wait, don't combine double signs yet. Combining double signs happens during addition and subtraction. So you have to wait until the addition or subtraction step to combine any double signs. Here, there's nothing to do inside of parentheses, but there is an exponent. So I have to perform this exponent first. And I'm going to be so careful because a lot of people mistakenly write -9. And the answer to -3 squared is not -9 because -3 squared is -3 times -3. And a negative times a negative is a positive. -3 squared is positive 9. That is one of the mistakes made most frequently by 7th graders. So rewriting this, I'd say it's 1 plus 9, and the answer would be 10. Okay, I'd like you guys to pause the video, try this on your own, and then unpause the video when you're ready to check your answer. So go ahead and pause the video. Okay, the very first thing that should have been done was parentheses. 3 minus 4 is -1. If I rewrote this carefully, I would realize it's -2 minus -1. There are double signs here. One of these negative signs came from inside the parentheses, and one of them was outside the parentheses. And a negative next to a negative becomes a plus sign. So this is really -2 plus 1, and the answer would be -1. All right, I'd like you guys to be very careful over here with this exponent but please pause the video, try this one on your own, and unpause when you're ready to see the answer. Okay, the very first thing you'd have to do is exponents. And negative 4 squared is not negative 16 because it's negative 4 times negative 4. And a negative times a negative is a positive 16. So if I rewrote everything else, I'd rewrite 16 minus 6 divided by 2. I would do division next, which would be 16 minus 3, and the answer should be 13. All right, please pause the video, try this on your own, and unpause the video when you're ready to check your answer. Okay, the first step we should do is division. So I would write this as 2 plus negative 2 times 6. The next step is multiplication. And negative 2 times 6 is negative 12. So this is really 2 plus negative 12. And when I simplify those double signs, it's 2 minus 12, which is negative 10. Okay, try this target practice, pause the video, and when you're ready to see the solution, unpause the video. Okay, so here's the answer. 4 times negative 2 gives me negative 8, plus 8 divided by negative 1. I have to do 8 divided by negative 1. I get negative 8. So now I have negative 8 plus negative 8, which is really just negative 8 minus 8, which is negative 16.